What's up, Chaotic fans? Hope you're all doing well. Today's video is extra special because we will be opening this. It is a sealed box of Chaotic cards that's over 16 years old and worth over $750. But before we get to that, I have a very quick announcement, which is that today's video is sponsored by none other than my own dad. My dad recently created and self-published his own card game, and it's called Pepper, and I want to share it with you guys. Pepper is a 2 to 8 player card game where you're working to gather resources to score points while crafting your own unique strategy and sabotaging your opponents. So very quickly, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why this is actually my favorite game my dad has ever made. Number 1, it's very moldable to whoever's playing. So if you're the type of family that likes to be high energy and super competitive and shouting and all that, then this game works for you. But if you're more like me and you just enjoy a more casual setting where you can just develop your own strategy and maybe just play 1v1, then this game is also perfect for that. Reason number 2 is no 2 games will play the exact same. There's a nice mix of RNG, which challenges you and forces you to choose a new strategy every time you play. And reason number 3 is the end game phase is always very competitive. As you play, you track your score and everyone can see how many points you have. So naturally they begin to team up on whoever's in the lead, and it makes the end of the game always very competitive, which I love. We just released this on Amazon, and for a small business like us, Amazon is vital to our success, but obviously it's pretty hard to compete with the big guys, so it would mean the world to us if you would click the link in the description and check it out for yourself and maybe pick up a copy. Thank you guys. Now on to the video. All right, now on to the fun stuff. As you guys may or may not know, with this channel being pretty much exclusively Chaotic content, it's actually quite rare that I open a sealed booster box, especially one of this caliber. So if it's cool with you guys, I'm going to take my time and just enjoy the ride, and hopefully you'll enjoy the ride with me. But I want to start by talking about a little bit of history about what this is, for those who may not know. This is a Chaotic booster box from the set Marillion Invasion Forged Unity. It's the 7th set that Chaotic released. The first 3 sets were a part of the Dawn of Perram block, where all that means is basically it was the introduction to the world of Chaotic, and it was mainly about these 4 tribes that were all competing and fighting for power and resources in the world of Chaotic. And then with the 4th set, that was called Beyond the Doors, and that introduced a 5th tribe, and that tribe was the Marillions, and they were these like aquatic, sort of Lovecraft type creatures who could use mind control and were very powerful and ancient, and they began to take over all of Perram, which is the world in which Chaotic takes place. And then you arrive finally at this 7th set, where all the first 4 tribes decided to put their differences aside and fight a common enemy, hence the title Forged Unity. And this concluded the Marillion Invasion block, as, spoiler alert, those 4 tribes did ultimately defeat the Marillions. So it's very cool, and obviously the TV show shared a lot of that sort of lore and history in a very cool way that connected with the card game, which is why many of us loved Chaotic, because those 2 worlds were blended really well. But this set is significant for that reason, as well as just having very powerful cards. It's actually the second to last set ever released. And so with the nature of Power Slide, where gradually sets got more and more powerful and competitive, trying to entice players to buy, more packs. This set definitely has some very competitive cards, as well as very collectible cards, which I'll get to in just a second. But I want to show this for you guys. And I believe I mentioned it earlier. I probably used it as clickbait in the title, but this recently sold for like $750, which is probably a new high for this. But still, it's for a while been pretty consistently over $500 for this box, which for Chaotic is pretty expensive. Only the last set would be able to compete with that, I think, value-wise. Well, that's maybe not fair to say, but certainly it's on the upper end of the most valuable sets in all of Chaotic. So just so you know what we're looking for in here, there's 24 packs, 9 cards per pack, and the rarity system, the way it worked in Chaotic, was that the highest rarity tier, for the most part, was an ultra rare, which is 1 out of 24 packs. So every booster box would guarantee you would get one ultra rare. So that's really what we're looking for. In very rare cases, you may get more than one, but that is what we're looking for. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So before I crack into it, last thing about what we're looking for. I told you guys I was going to take my time. I'm really taking my time. What we're looking for those who don't know, is the ultra rares. Like I said, the best ones being probably number one would be Kaor the Fierce. Kaor is actually the only ultra rare creature I ever pulled while the game was still active when I was a kid and I played this way back in probably 2009. And Kaor is a very playable card and also a very recognizable character. His ability is Fire 10, which simply put just is like the most simple strategy you can imagine. It's just basically giving him a bigger sword than everyone else, and it does 10 extra damage per attack. So it's a super simple but very powerful strategy for Kaor, and that's probably why he's the most valuable card. And then close behind, maybe, I mean, at times probably similar in value, if not more, would be Maxor, Protector of Param, another one of the main characters of Chaotic. Maxor and Kaor are kind of the two mascots, and Maxor also has an ability that's pretty strong if you use it correctly. But those are actually the only... we only got two different versions of those cards. So we got the original in the first set, and again, they're kind of the main characters. And then the only other official playable versions we got of them was in this set, which I think is probably part of why this set holds so much value, is because people love those characters. And then not too far behind in value, you have Kor-Or, which is a really cool war beast, which is like this giant creature that the Mepedian tribe can summon. Very cool with very high stats, but you need a very specific strategy to use him correctly. And then you have Lore Ancestral Caller, which is also not a bad card as well. And all of those probably hang around a similar value. I would say, you know, at least $200, and then obviously stats is something that can help the price vary, you know, greatly. And then not far behind that, you have Boam, which isn't that playable of a card, but it's still a very cool ultra rare Marillion with one of my favorite artworks for any Marillion in all of Chaotic. I really love that. He kind of looks more like a crustacean or whatever, a little less like a squid and a little more like a crab, if that makes any sense. But I think his artwork's super cool. The colors are great. And then who else do you have behind that? So those are all the creatures. You have 5 creatures, and then there's 3 other ultras you could possibly pull. Next would be Crown of Ani, which is significantly less in value. However, with Ani being the main antagonist, it's really cool that we got a battle gear featuring him as well. So I would be happy with that. And then behind that, you have, I think it's Glacier Plains Marillion Heat Cannon. What's it called? I feel like an idiot now, but it's the Marillion Heat Cannon location, which has the only win condition card in all of Chaotic, which says that it's the only sort of golden snitch card where if you do something specific, the game is just immediately over, which is pretty cool. And then certainly last of all the ultras is the Unified Tribe Charge, which even at its best, I don't think is a very good attack, but it is obviously reflective of the theme of this set. So, I wouldn't complain even if I got a pack fresh, copy of that card. So those are the ultras that we're looking for. Again, on the upper end, those are roughly a $200 plus card. Certainly, if you get the right stats and the right condition, it can be worth far more. And then the supers are nice as well. You're going to get 1 super per 3 packs, so 8 total for this box. Mainly, I'm looking for the generals. Those are really cool cards. And you also have Blugon, Magmon, and Vidav, which are really cool characters from the show I would be happy to get. And then the rares are nice as well because you can get some of the lieutenants, which are pretty cool cards as well. Also, Gigantropper, forgot about that one, but that's a very solid battle gear you can get in the super rare slot. So again, I told you guys, I'm taking my time, but I want to give the due history for this to really show it the love that it deserves because this is rare for me. But I love this set. Last but not least, why this set is really special to me or why I enjoy opening it is the print quality of this is probably the best in all of Chaotic. Chaotic was known for having really terrible print quality, but Forged Unity, in my opinion, is the best. And if you look at the PSA population report, granted, most of that is me, but Forged Unity by far has the most number of submissions and PSA 10s. So that's the great thing. No matter what we pull, ultra rare, super rare, rare, whatever, we have a good chance at getting it in great condition and grading it in a 10. So that would be fantastic. So I've rambled enough. I'm going to take a sip of water and we will just get into it. I'm going to take my sweet time, but without further ado, I think I covered all my bases. Let's ruin the value of this box. Here we go. This box does have a little crease on the top right. I tried to find, I don't have many of these, but I tried to find one that had some small damage that would make me feel not so bad to open it. But here we are. I think I've mentioned this before, but when I was a kid, I remember I really wanted a booster box for Christmas one year, and I remember looking at a Dawn of Perrin booster box online. I'd never seen one in person, and I remember picturing it in my head, and just the thought of 24 packs in one box was like such a big number to me that I thought booster boxes were like 2 feet or 3 feet wide. Like I thought they were just huge. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I finally acquired one that I was like, oh yeah, it's not that big. But that just goes to show as a kid, like I couldn't fathom having 24 packs to open at one time. So this is still very exciting for me. My inner child is very much alive and well. Here are the packs. We're just gonna go through them one by one and see what we get. I bet some of you are like, will you please stop talking and just open them? Hopefully you guys like the setup too. I think the camera makes it look great. But here we go, pack number 1. I don't remember the pack trick, so we're gonna learn it on this pack, but here we go. We have Shenad, Fearless Strike, Mazel Bat, pretty cool artwork on that one. Our first rare, Muge's Tune Fork, pretty cool. And our second rare, Gravel Grind. And no Super or Ultra. We have Clash Jet, Ganim, Valor Continuum, and the Storm Tunnel Keybros Foothold. Really cool. All right, we have Glapau, actually a decent Dany in there. Awesome artwork. Thermo Rings. Kaibon's Mech Blade. Unbalanced Charge. Hewn Marquard, really funny creature that they just completely changed his design. Vidav's Voicing. Emswa on the box art, really cool Marillion. And Garlag, nice. I think our first rare creature, we'll take that. And last but not least, Ode to Obscurity. Still no Super or Ultra, but again, with the print quality being so nice, I'm really happy just to get these rare creatures. I'll take these all day, every day. I've had some luck grading them, so I will take that. All right, let me adjust this. We have Lodorul, Lake Morn, Armbands of Lore, Achilles Wisp, Brave Glint, Ackerball, really cool creature, Directed Bravery, Sirocco, Attack, and Turboline, another rare creature. We will take that. I always thought her creature design was kind of unique for Marillions. We didn't see many of them that like clearly looked like females, so Really cool. We will take that. I'm not sure about stats on any of these, except for the ultras, but we shall see. Here we go. Torna. Probably one of the most creepy and unsettling artworks in all of Chaotic. We have, not even going to try to pronounce that, a location. Think Ray. The Storm Tunnel again. Iflar's Improvisation. Shout out to Iflar. Kamangareth, Unstable Ally. I believe this is the second printing of that creature, which is pretty cool. Directed Bravery. Sky Song Arpeggio, a music or spell. And Mass Blink. Still no super, but we will take that. Oh, I did the pack trick wrong, but there we go. All right, we got our first super, Grant K. Mapedian General, which I've pulled very few of these. So this is one of the generals that I'm super happy to get. So I'm gonna go ahead and sleeve this up quick. Of course I did the pack trick wrong, but there we go. Not sure about stats on this, but I will check it later. So far, condition looks to be solid, as you would expect from Forged Unity. The edges look great. Centering looks pretty solid. Definitely a shot out of 10. I will look at it more closely later, but really cool. Super happy with that. Very quickly, here are the rest of the cards we got. We got a Heart Sink, and we got an Avena, Overworld Lieutenant. First one of those. Might be max energy on that one, which is sweet. 100 Wisdom as well. Really cool creature. One of my favorite artworks. Condition is nice as well. Sweet. All right, so it might just be 3 to the front. We're going to try that now, but here's pack number 5 or 6. I'm losing count. We have Funnel Blast, Unbalanced Charge, Gorham's Briefing. Really cool artwork on there. You see lots of creatures in there. Newman Voidland, Jig of Reinforcement, Abika, one of my all-time favorite artworks. I know I say that like with every card, but that one's just beautiful. Seriously, maybe like top 5 Mapedian artwork for me. Love that card. Jor Mapedian Lieutenant. Speaking of the Mapedians, here's our first Jor card. Really cool. Monofoam Mayhem and Elna. Nice, another super rare. And I do believe this one is max energy. 70 energy is nothing to scoff at. Really cool. Our first Elna card. I forgot to mention this earlier, but what was also unique to this set, I believe, Forged Unity and then the set after were the only ones that had this, which was the background would sort of be cropped out and the creature wouldn't have hollow foil, but the background would. So I'm not sure if you can really see that, but it just helps the artwork pop that much better. Really cool card. Got some foil chipping along the edges here. It may not be a PSA 10, but beautiful pack fresh Elna nonetheless. Really awesome card. Stoked about that. And of course, stoked about our Jor card. Probably saying that incorrectly, but so be it. All right, here's our next pack. We have Thermo Rings, another Storm Tunnel, Kaibon's Mech Blade, Smart Smack, Wilt Dread, another really terrifying artwork. Love that one. Iflar's Improvisation, another Turboline, nice. A Nevena, nice, first one of that. Sister to Avena, really awesome card. And Glapal, so no super there. All right, next pack we have Geyser Gush, Gorham's Briefing, Storm Tunnel, Jig of Reinforcement, Abika, Brave Glint, Interthink, really awesome. Another Jor, we'll take it. And Clash Jet. Again, no super there, but we will take all these lieutenants that we can get. All right, here we go. We have, again, not going to try to pronounce that, Riverland Moon, Think Ray, Anarchiar, actually pretty playable if you know how to use them right. Denying Dirge, Klenka Avenger, might be the first one of those we've pulled, really cool. Monophone Mayhem, Sirocco, and I'm seeing a little red behind this. Let's see. 55. Just Torna. Thought it maybe was a super. All right, I believe this is pack number 10. We have Lake Morn, Gorham's Briefing, Armbands of Lore, Emswa, love that artwork, Instantaneous Inspiration, Newman Voidland. We have the North Range, High Ground, really cool. Can't tell if that's supposed to be Tangeth Toborn, I believe. Maybe Tangeth, Rothar, and a Mepedian. Really cool. Why does this kind of look like Bikini Bottom? They're like underwater here. I actually love that one. I'm gonna sleeve that one up. All right, and I'm revealing something. Illusion Glissando, 55. Technically, that could be a medium energy Maxor. Let's see what we got. Oh, Loaderule. No super or ultra. Keep teasing you guys. Next pack. Pack number 11, I believe. We have Geyser Gush, Indigo Sash, Power Cut, love that artwork, Fearless Strike, Mazzle Bat, Alacritious Force, if I'm saying that right, Inner Flood, really cool, second rare, another Novena, we'll take that, beautiful, and General Standard, nice. A super rare Battle Gear. Not the best super rare, but really cool. As I keep saying over and over, I love all these artworks. This artwork is fantastic. And obviously fitting with the theme of the set. I will take that. Maybe slightly off center, left to right there. The back looks to be clean as always. We will take that. All right, next up we have Funnel Blast, Kaibon's Mech Blade, Unbalanced Charge, Directed Bravery, Hewn Marquard, again, weird creature, Vidav's Voicing, Bodal's Dagger, a pretty good rare battle gear. I didn't mention it earlier, but in a specific type of deck, this is actually extremely playable. Awesome. Shout out Bodal. Fire Ring, first time getting that, I believe. Really cool. And Magmon Retaliator, nice. That is one of the ones I told you I would be very happy with. I have not graded any of these in a 10. I think I only got one in like an 8 before. So, beautiful artwork. This is the second version of Magmon we got, I believe. Really awesome. So far, condition looks pretty good. Centering, probably close enough. Maybe slightly off. In the back, pretty clean. Definitely a shot at a 10. Maybe a little bit on this bottom edge here. But beautiful card. Happy to have it. So we are definitely still owed an ultra rare as well as a decent amount of supers. I believe probably, I forget, I lost count, but at least 4 supers I think we're still owed. We have Ganem, Valor Continuum, Marillion Pulse Beacons, Ackerball, Adaptive Progression, Shenad, another Jor, we'll take that. Beautiful card. Second rare, Intertwined Melody, we'll take that. And Clash Jet, no super or ultra. All right, I'm starting to get a little nervous. We're running out of packs, and we've yet to find our Ultra, so I'm nervous, but I'm excited. Here we go. This is probably pack number 14 or something like that. We're definitely over halfway through. We have Majcan. That's the first time we've gotten him. I always thought he looked very Dragon Ball Z. His art style always seemed a little out of the ordinary for me, but very cool. Thinkray, Storm Tunnel, Wiltdread, Iflar's Improvisation, Kamangareth. Our first rare, Mass Blink, really cool. Second rare, Kepian, the first time getting Kepian, the Danian Lieutenant. Love his creature design, and as always, I love the artwork. And Thermo Rings, again, no Super or Ultra, but we're getting there. We have Glapau, Power Cut, Merlian Pulse Beacons, Denying Dirge, Klenka Avenger, Smart Smack, first rare Avena Overworld Lieutenant. I will take all those I can get. Really cool. Might be, I always forget what her max energy is. Might be max energy on that. Second rare we have Sky Song Arpeggio and another common. All right, so the rest of this box is getting more and more loaded, but I am happy with that Avena. All right, I just did the math. So we've pulled 4 supers. So of these 9 remaining packs, we're owed 4 more supers. We should get them. So almost every other pack will be a hit. And of course, we're still looking for our ultras. We have Lake Morn, Armbands of Lore, Achilles Wisp. Not gonna try to pronounce that. That's beautiful though. Love the colors on that one. We have another Abika, Brave Glint. Our first rare is Illusion Glissando. Second rare is Inner Think. 55. I can't tell if it's holographic or not. I don't think it is. Another Loaderule. So these last packs are going to be loaded. All right, if you've watched this far, put your predictions in chat. What is the ultra that we're going to pull? What do you guys think? How lucky are we feeling today? We have Geyser Gush, Torna, Indigo Sash, another one of those locations, Cryomorph Barricades, really cool, Alatrocious Force, Anarchiar. First rare is Carnival of Confusion Mind Games. I believe it's the first time we've pulled this. Really cool. I have no idea who these creatures are. Either of them. I don't remember seeing this card like ever before. When a player would draw and play an attack card, instead they reveal and play the top card of their attack deck. Interesting. So you kind of removes the choice that you have in the attack cards you play. We have Heart Sink. All right, here we go. 50-50 shot of being a super. No more than that because we're also owed an ultra. Here we go. Heart Sink. Could be Ani's Crown. Crown of Ani. Gigantropper, nice. All things considered, this card is very valuable for a super rare battle gear. Never graded 1 in a 10. This one looks to be slightly off center, but still a beautiful card. For those who don't know, it basically just removes all abilities that your creature has, and then it gives them 70 in every stat, including their energy or health. So basically it just says, forget everything else your creature does. Now it's just an absolute tank. So it makes any creature very competitive. So beautiful card, especially if you pair it with a creature that has like 3 music counters. They just basically instantly become like kind of like Dawn of Param Kaor. They just great stats, great energy, And again, pairing them with someone who has a lot of music counters is a nice strategy. Beautiful card. We will gladly take that. All right, next pack we have Magcan, Funnel Blast, Gorham's Briefing, Instantaneous Inspiration, Newman Voidland, Cryomorph Barricades, first rare, Strengthening Bond. Really cool artwork on that one. Second rare, the North Range, another Bikini Bottom. The more I see this, the more I really like this artwork. It's hilarious to me. All right, and our last card is, let me get this situated, 45-3. Is that Vidav? Vidav's the only one I could think maybe having 3 music counters. There we go, Vidav, Master Strategist. Again, another one of the supers I told you I'd be thrilled to get. Let me sleeve it up and we'll look at him. Vidav, Master Strategist, 45 energy, 110 wisdom, 3 music counters. I have no idea what his max stats are, but beautiful card. He's obviously planning out some strategy on a map. You have Tangeth Toborn behind him, and I'm not sure who those others are behind him. Yeah, I don't know. Very clean. Definitely a shot at a 10. Again, slightly, just barely off center, but beautiful card. We will take that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, only 6 more packs, including this one. We have Magcan, Merlion Pulse Beacons, Kaibon's Mechblade, Vidav's Voicing, M-Swa, Instantaneous Inspiration, Illusion Glissando, Inner Think. Here's our last card. Thermo Rings, another common. Okay, 5 packs left, still no Ultra. If we don't pull an Ultra in this, then I will personally call Ganon and tell him that he scammed me. But I think it's still in there. They're just making us wait. Alatrocious Force, Anarchiar. It has like some ink at the top or something. Denying Dirge. First rare is Gravel Grind. Beautiful. Second rare, Carnival of Confusion. And here's our last card. 70. Okay. That I'm trying to think stat-wise. Bareth Beyond, I don't know if his health goes all the way up to 70. Otherwise, this might be a max energy Kaor the Fierce. We may have hit the jackpot, the best thing we could have. If let's check the stats. They both have similar stats. Let's go! Oh, the unbelievable amount of luck I have with this Kaor card. Unbelievable. As a kid, it was the only Ultra creature I pulled. Now, as an adult, 16 years later, I pull a max energy copy. I believe that is nowhere near max power. Max power is 115, so very low power, but a max energy copy, pack fresh. I mean, I told you guys from the beginning, this was it. This is what we were looking for, and stats help it a lot. So with that energy, I'll check sold listings. I'll put it on screen what the last max energy near mint copy of this card went for. It's beautiful. We have a little foil bleed on the edge here. Gonna hold it back from being a 10 most likely. Beautiful card though. The back looks nice, small speck there, so we will not be hitting the 10 on this, but maybe a 9, and a 9 for this card. Again, forget the grade. It's an unbelievable amount of luck. Man, I'm so stoked on that. Beautiful artwork, obviously. And again, he has Fire 10, which just means For those who don't know, every fire attack that he does, just add 10 to that. And 70 health is actually quite a lot, but if there's plenty of attacks out there that deal 20 damage with fire, so you add that 10 on top of it, that's 30. And then, of course, there's other battle gears or musics or locations you could add to that. But just with that 30 base damage, that's clearing like half of the health of most creatures. So he just does tons of damage, super fast, super straightforward. Obviously, an awesome artwork. I'm going to try to give you guys a close-up on that. Again, he's cropped out, so the background is all holographic, but he's not. Really cool. Super glad I got this on camera to share it with you guys. Obviously, feel free to steal my code and use him however you want. But yeah, awesome. He's getting his own top loader. I seriously can't believe that. I was thinking like, it'll be a great video just to open one of these, but I bet it'll just be my luck that I'm going to open it and not get anything good. But that is exactly what we came for. That is amazing. Super lucky. All right, now these are just the icing on top, the cherry on top, if you will. We got 4 packs, and I believe we're still owed 3 supers, something like that. 2 or 3. So let's see what we got. All right, Glapau, Riverland Moon, Thinkray, Commangareth, Directed Bravery, Hune Marquard, Fire Ring, first rare, Bikini Bottom, second rare. I'm going to grade these Bikini Bottoms. You watch me. And a common. So still some supers left in those last packs. All right, third to last pack. Fearless Strike, Newman Voidland, Cryomorph Barricades. We got a Novena Underworld Lieutenant. Happy to get another one of those. Awesome card. Second rare. Muge's Tune Fork. Last card is Funnel Blast. So still no super. All right, these are our last 2 packs. I did the math. We've only pulled 6 supers, so after the KOR, I'm not really complaining, but I do believe we're owed 2 supers out of these last 2 packs. Let's see what we get. Torna, Power Cut, Smart Smack, Wilt Dread, Iflar's Improvisation, Kepian, Danian Lieutenant, nice. I would love a Tangeth Toeborn, max energy, that would be awesome. We have a Bodil's Dagger, this is a great pack, 2 great rares, and a super, Opus Opposed, a Mugic. So certainly not one of the best supers we could have pulled, but I used up all my luck and I'm not complaining with this. Really cool. Heal 5 damage to target creature for each tribe you control. So again, the meta of this set was definitely about using as many tribes as possible. Really cool. I don't know if I've ever pulled this before, but beautiful. Looks to be in pretty good condition. I don't know if I would grade this, but really cool card. All right, last pack. All right, here we are, our last pack with the MSWA artwork. We're going to give it all the love it deserves. Fingers crossed. Again, still think technically I'm owed a super rare, but whatever I get, I cannot complain. Appreciate you guys joining me along for the ride. Let's see what we can get. 1, 2, 3. We have Thermo Rings. Not going to try to pronounce that. Achilles Wisp, Ackerball, Adaptive Progression, Shenad, I think we're coming up on the rares. Intertwined Melody is our first rare. Second rare, Inner Flood. So no lieutenants there at the end. Here's our last card. Should be a super. Let's see what we got. Coral Balls. Of course, it had to end on somewhat of a joke. Getting the ball card. There's a ball card every set for those who don't know. Ending it on the balls. Seems fitting in a way. But yeah, here are the hits from everything that we got. I will go through all the cards. We got, going in reverse order, we got Coral Balls, Kepian Danian Lieutenant, Bodal's Dagger, Opus Opposed, Nevena, Bikini Bottom. I just like that. I got lots of Bikini Bottoms today. I'm stoked about that. We got a Vidav, beautiful. Gigantropper, Avena, Kepian, Jor, Magmon Retaliator. Really love that we got that card. Nevena, Underworld Lieutenant, General Standard, another Bikini Bottom. So rich with Bikini Bottoms. Jor, Turboline, Nevena, another Jor, Elna, Awesome Danian, Avena, Grant K, not sure if I'm saying that right, but was probably my favorite super I pulled today. Stoked to get that card. Turboline and Garlag. And of course, the hit that made the box kind of worth it. I really feel so lucky that we were able to pull this. We pulled Kwar the Fierce with max energy. We're gonna get this sucker graded. More than likely, I might not, but we'll see. Again, I don't think it'll be hitting the 10, but I think it's at least a 9, given those small errors with it, whatever it's called. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed that piece of history. Hopefully, in the future, I can do more pack openings. Obviously, it's quite a rare occurrence because of the risk that it is. Most of the time you lose your value. I may have still even lost money today, even hitting the hits. So as always, appreciate you guys watching. Please click the link in the description and in the comments to check out my dad's game. I would really appreciate it if you guys would show him some love. It would mean the world to me. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.